Right, as expected, the shift star is fucked. It had slid off. I've just slid it back on. So I'll just get the camera in there. So the shift star is this star-shaped piece here. Down the bottom, there's this little lever arm along here that runs in these indents that essentially keeps it in gear. That lever arm has a tendency to slide up and over, and that had happened, and so none of the gears were indexing. Great fun, it was actually indexing on the head of this bolt. So what I'm going to do, 2 washers on this bolt, that'll keep it in. Alrighty, this is what happens with the shift star. So that's in first at the moment. I'll put it in neutral. Now, if you shift down too quickly, boom. So it goes into first, jumps off the shift star. So that is from factory the biggest default with these Zongshens. Alrighty, so I've taken clutch off and the gear underneath it off, and obviously I've taken the drive star out. That's the gear star, sorry. That's here, not with that washer. So yeah, you have to take that off the clutch basket, springs out. Then you've got to take this nut off, which I made a tool up out of an old socket. You can try to get that out with a hammer and screwdriver, but you'll just burr the edges over. I tried. So, angle grinder and an old socket and a rattle gun will do the job. So this comes out. It actually comes out as a pack. If you grab it by the back, you can get the whole thing out as a pack. Then this comes out with the gear, and then you can get to the shift star. So you take him out. Well, you don't need to take him out actually, you can leave him in there. And you do this. Alright, got the shift star and the rear washer back in. Now I'm going to put a smaller washer here to shim it out, and then another large washer so that this can't jump up and over. Alright, here's my shim made up, ready to go. This is just going to go straight back in the top. Got a couple washers to space it out, and this large washer to stop this riding up and over. Just force it down. Alrighty, that's on. Just about to screw it in. I ended up using 3 washers for shims. So hopefully, once this is in, this won't ride up and over. If it does still, thinner shims. Alright, there we are, all done. Ended up using a different bolt, 3 shims instead of 2, but that probably too tight actually, but not jumping off anymore. If we can get neutral, which is there, not jumping off. Alrighty, I've just slid the basket back on. Has to line up with here, and down in here you can wiggle that, make it line up. Next up is this lovely washer. It's actually a locking washer, so you slide it in, then slide it. This might have to go down further. Slide it in and then you twist it. So these teeth are underneath these teeth, and then this retaining washer locks it in. I'll do that and get back. There we go, I managed to twist that. Then this goes on, like so. So that stops that untwisting, and that's what locks this on. I just slid the clutch pack back in, so I took it out as one, so I don't need to redo these, but if you take them out individually, you'll have to alternate. But yep, that's sorted. Next up is the washer and the big head fuck of a locking thing. Alrighty, rattle gun that back on with this homemade bit, nice and tight. got the washer underneath. The washer's got outside written on it, so you know, face it outwards. And yeah, that's getting near done. Springs next. Springs on. Alright, this outer plate's on now. I'm going to tighten these up by hand and then rattle them on up to torque spec. Alright, and that's pretty much it. They're all tight. There's your little bearing. It's interesting, it's just a standard bearing. It's not an axial roll bearing or something, because the angle of force is down in this application, so this is just sitting in a little groove. You can actually pull it out that way. But yeah, that's pretty much all done, so hope that helped.